So let's talk about wrestling. Wrestling. Back in the day, Madison Square Garden was packed out. Events were packed out. Nobody was doing monkey flips off the top rope. If Superfly Jimmy Snuka went up to the top rope to do a splash, or up on top of a cage to do a splash, that was phenomenal, mind-blowing. But yet, see, when they educate you now in wrestling schools, they want to automatically make you do flips off the top rope, and they want to teach you how to possibly break your fucking neck and paralyze yourself. They want to focus more on the acrobatics and the stunts and the kamikaze flips instead of true wrestling, skill set, timing, and most importantly, microphone skills. So this is now the new generation of the wrestlers. What up, NXT? So I had all the move sets like Dean Malenko. Wrestled myself, MMA trained myself, martial artist myself. All the move sets. No one's touching me on the mic when I get going. No one. I'm untouchable on that mic when I get going. But because of my weight at the time, I didn't make it. And then I'm like, you know what? All right, I'll play this game. I put my body through steroids, weightlifting, and I increased my mass, and then nothing. And almost killed myself. Thank God my liver regenerated, but then got cancer years later, almost 15 years later, right? Okay. And I'm still seeing these men and women who love wrestling so much. Even Logan Paul, who I have to say rapidly advanced by being a natural athlete, like him or not. And I even see him with those very, very dangerous aerial moves that he does. And then I think of friends that I've met down the line, indie shows, the convention circuit, the meet and greets, wrestling schools, and I see them. And then I see these younger guys who's in a wheelchair, who lost his leg, who lost feelings in his arm, who could never wrestle again, neck injuries, back injuries, concussions do happen. I mean, that's natural. But this is what I mean. You know, they want to push that lucha libre style on you because they think that's like all the AEW wrestling. They think that the high-flying, quick monkey flip timing maneuvers is more entertaining, but in fact, it's not. Because don't you listen, and even more importantly, don't you read what the wrestling community is saying? It's a circus act. Timing, pre-programmed, gimmicks, monkey flips, aerial assassin bullshit. For what? For what? Like to risk big potential injury? It's not worth it. It's not worth it, but true storytelling is. Now, wrestling went to three decades, maybe 4 decades without these aerial assassins, and they did just fine. I mean, Vince McMahon then took wrestling to new heights, did just fine. There'll always be those high flyers. When we came into maybe a era of you don't have to be a massive big builder with bulging muscles, and then you got the Shawn Michaels and the Marty Jannettis and the high flyers and the Tony Romas and the Tito Santana and Rey Mysterio, who's just in a league of himself with the Lucha Libre style, who brought really that style mainstream, the Eddie Guerreros, the Chris Benoits. But this is what we're training the kids to be, these aerial assassins, instead of technical wrestlers. Even more so important, what about the mic skills? Because that mic will captivate you. That mic will hold an audience or immediately lose the audience. And this is the problem. This is the problem. And this is I think one of the main problems with AEW wrestling. They're more concerned about choreographing a wrestling match than to actually define a story, grow a story, articulate a story. And then you look at WWE, who focuses on story and microphone and live segments and building up that storyline. So you got to ask yourself, right? You got to ask yourself, as a booker, as a head or a board of director of these major brands and also independent brands, what are you truly trying to showcase? Because I truly think that the wrestling fan and the wrestling community, they want to see less of these circus act matches, because they're coming across truly extremely obviously choreographed and fake. But when you get technical wrestling mixed with the science of the microphone, you're elevating that psychology in the ring as if, that's a fight. They're throwing down, they're doing moves and maneuvers. Slow down. The fast stuff is cool, absolutely. But when it's too much, kayfabe is done. It's done. You see people's personal lives and their home stories and their love affairs. It's done. It's out the window. And in this day and age now, it's predetermined and it's choreographed. But why do you have to showcase that? Instead, we all know it's predetermined. But how about taking it back a little bit to the old school days, where even the wrestlers themselves didn't know the match ending until it was called in? Google that, fact check that. So with that said, how about a realistic era now? I know everybody's big on eras, but how about come to a realistic era where the heel faces another heel for status, for main event status, to come up in the ranks? A face faces a face to come up in the ranks, and you get more mic and more psychology and more in-ring maneuvers and technical wrestling and fighting. Sure, there's nothing wrong with a dive off the top of the ropes, or the guys that could do the flips. There's nothing wrong with that. But what you'll also get is more longevity. You'll get storytelling at its finest. You'll get psychology, but you'll keep technical wrestling alive, and you'll get more fan engagement. Because yeah, like I said, the high flying and the quick timed maneuvers, it looks good to a point, but it also really emphasizes that this shit is scripted, fake, and I think that we got to get more back into a realistic era. Now, with that being said, WWE is coming to Netflix. We all know this. And there's really no rules over there. Where we could get really realistic. Where they don't have to worry about what the sponsor is going to say because it's subscribers. They don't have to appease. The only person that they have to appease is the viewer. Now, AEW is going to get now another a television deal, I believe, but now they got the sponsors again. So they're going to be a little more limited in just how far they could push that button. Only time will tell, but I think AEW really needs to get really better stories. They got to develop a story. They have to develop a psychology. More psychology, less acrobats. Less acrobatics. And, I mean, with that being said, man, I love it. You know, I tune in. I stopped watching AEW for a while because of the... They were pushing too much nonsense, too much bullshit. At times, forcing it down viewers' throats. They were getting a little bit too much with certain controversial issues in this world, and they lost me for a while. And I'm a you could say a fan. I'm a fan of MJF. I think that MJF is one of the best on the mic. I love John Moxley. Always have. I just want a more realistic approach to wrestling. You know? And sometimes the programming from AEW bores me. You know, I'll tune in. 9 times out of 10, I don't tune in live. I'll watch it on cable. What is it called? You know, when you go back and watch the shows on demand. For the most part, I tune in live certain times, maybe, but some matches just lose my attention. The lack of storylines lose my attention. And I think that's what's happening in this modern era. There's just too many ways to watch things. I think that it doesn't captivate the audience and keep attention for a long period of time anymore. People just want to see certain segments. People just want to see what's going on with certain characters. And it might just be an oversaturation. You know, and I think even too, you know, if you're running a business, right? Well, every wrestling talent is payroll. So, you know, there's contracts, there's payroll. Well, you know, another thing I really don't like is at the end of the shows now they're produced by, and they put the name at the end. That just rubs it. Me, maybe because I'm more of an old school. I grew up in this whole wrestling genre. 45 years of watching all different generations wrestle, and that alone at the end of the show kills it for me. It's like just throws it right in your face, like, yeah, this shit's scripted and fake, and it's produced, and it just lost that enigma, you know. It lost the enigma. Like, yes, we all know it's scripted, it's fake, but you don't have to rub it in everybody's faces. You know, just that's just my take on it. You know, I don't know if you guys share the same opinions as me. I know we have been sharing the same opinions with these match bookings. I'm not happy with the way that the script is going. The match bookings, who's involved in whose matches. I've spoken about that. You know, like there's a way to carry out a storyline, or to make people run in other people's shadows of fame, and that's what's going on. It's a drag out. It's a drag out. I think that this is one of the worst title reigns, and I'm not enjoying this Cody Rhodes reign, the Cody Rhodes title reign at all. It's very boring, absolutely boring, and there's a lot of people now. Financially, he's selling. He broke a record for Fanatics. He's in the top selling on Fanatics. He breaks records, right? But as a viewer, as a longtime fan of wrestling, I'm very bored, extremely bored. Even the match with Solo, I was bored. The ending, I'm against that tag team. I really wish that we would. I mean, I guess John Cena is going to surface right before Netflix. I don't know what's going on with that. That seems to be like a drag out. I really wanted to see this Randy Orton Cody Rhodes thing, to get Randy Orton to at least 16 times, so they could do something big with John Cena and Randy Orton for a 17-time determination to break that record finally. I mean, this is very dragged out. Very dragged out. But The Rock, I mean, I was enjoying those, the cursing and the beatdowns, and him saying, F this, I don't care if it's the end of the show, F this. We know it's a story, but man, this is what I'm talking about. That was some good television. And then they take it away. You know, you have characters right now that can be doing this. You guys have Jacob Fatu on your roster, and the man's being extremely underutilized. It kills me. It kills me. I know Armando Estrada is now on a Legends contract. That's he used to manage Umaga, rest in peace. Umaga's son, Zilla Fatu. So we know Zilla Fatu and Armando is on their way, and you know, what's gonna happen with that? What's gonna happen with that storyline? You know, they're making God look horrible on television. The tongue is horrible. Is, you know, and then they say that they have like the best writers and producers, and this isn't a knock to Bruce Pritchard or Paul or Triple H. It's not a knock. It's not a knock to Paul Heyman. God, you're the Godfather. This isn't a knock. But I mean, even where's Paul? Like, you got survivors. Like, something's bound to happen. Okay, long-term storytelling, full circle storytelling, but interest is being lost in the progression of wrestling. And it's like now, attendance records are being broken, money's being made, obviously, so it's a night out. That's what it is. It's like going to a concert. It's a night out. You're a fan, something big is coming to your area, you want to go. I mean, it's an attraction. But I think that wrestling fans can all relate that I think they want maybe a more realistic product. That's just my opinions. You share my opinion, you agree with my opinions, or you don't agree with my opinions. That's the beautiful part about being human beings, is we could bounce back and forth of each other's opinions, and maybe somebody would listen. And you can't make everybody happy, but wanted to say, like, you can't make everybody happy, but you can try a different route. Instead of always going down that same road, and that road is getting very, very predictable. Right or wrong, guys? Very predictable. How about really hit them with the unpredictable? Like, just start making shit up that nobody would expect. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, holy shit. More holy shit moments will captivate an audience and really mind boggle people. Like, just mind fuck people. Like where's the Wyatt Six? Still don't get why Braun Strowman isn't a part of the Wyatt Six. And the monster thing, obviously, how many of you guys, last Monster Stand, super predictable. We knew that was coming. We knew the Hell in the Cell match was being led to between Punk and Drew. I mean, wrestling to me is like the comic book industry. And this is why I love both. Because it's like everybody plays the safe route. Even in comic books, everybody plays the safe route. Variant, homage, variant, foil cover, variant. Let's do another number one. Let's do this, let's do that. More, they keep it on that, even the artists, they keep it on that road of comfort. But get off that road. Throw a curveball. Listen. There's nothing wrong with taking a chance. There's nothing wrong with going that other way. And see what happens. Let's, I'm not saying, go out there and endanger anyone, but throw a curveball, shock the system, throw a curveball, see what happens. And with that said, I keep it underneath a half an hour, and I'm gonna come back at 8 o'clock and drop the mic a little bit.